Denton, and this is my service reflection video for EXED 200. Basically, just to state, I know you're supposed to talk about the service that you currently do, but I was going to be at the Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind, and it actually didn't work, and I was really excited for it, but I got replaced with the Boys and Girls Club of Harrisonburg, and actually really liked it. I was intimidated at first, but it was a good turnout, and I definitely would do it again. So basically, what I did for this was I would go to the local elementary school, Stone Spring to be exact, and I would purposely go for their after school program. So it would be more like a hangout. I would be there to hang out with them, talk with them, make sure they weren't by themselves. I even helped some of them with their homework and their readings if they had any. So it was kind of more relaxed, kind of more flexible. You could show up when you wanted to. I typically did go from 4 to 6 though, every Tuesday, Thursday, some Fridays, and yeah, I really liked it. I think the children were really nice, and they were mostly at the age level of like first through fifth grade. There was more of the older ones than the really, really young ones, but they were all super nice and welcoming, and definitely all they all wanted to talk to you. So it was a great atmosphere to be around, and even the workers there, the other people that were volunteering were super nice, and everyone always wanted to like introduce themselves to you. I actually met new kids every time I went, even though it was the same group. I would hang out with different groups every time I would go, every different week. So it was really nice. And a few things I observed there. There was nothing too extreme because it was just an after school program for them. But there, it did hit me a couple times that kids would tell me about things their parents wouldn't do with them. Like my mother wouldn't hang out with me, when I wanted to. My dad wouldn't hang out with me when I wanted to. But I also couldn't tell if this was them telling me stories or if this was them confiding in me to try and reach another level of relationship level. So I don't know. I don't think anything really major happened. I was just kind of there to be their friend and stuff. And some of them even asked me if I was their friend, and it's cute. So I really liked them. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, nothing really big happened. That was probably the biggest thing that happened, but yeah, I really liked it. So I think what connections did I find between the lectures and my experience? The lectures were more for me were a foundation, kind of gave me the facts, the basics, what I needed to know about this population. There was only one person who had a disability, so they would usually play that by themselves. They didn't really want to hang out in groups. It wasn't any severe disability. I'm not 100% what it was, but I was aware they had one. All the other ones didn't have any disabilities. They were just, kids there at the school. And they would hang out in groups together by themselves or whatever they wanted to do that day. But I got the basics on those kinds and the kinds of the disabilities, so I was prepared for whatever. And I had almost no prior experience with that age level, so it was really different walking into there. So I'm really glad the lecturers taught me how to approach the situation and how to interact with them, what types of things to say, not to say, what types of things to do with them. It's always so different. You can't have the same repertoire, or you can't do the same things you would with an adult or versus your peer versus someone who's way younger than you. So that was interesting, and the experience really let me kind of play with real world situations and what would happen if I put myself in the situation versus me watching a video in class on the situation, or like reading about it in a textbook or something like that. So it really helped me apply real world settings and situations and everything. What did I learn in the service learning experience then versus what I did in class? I think kind of what I've already restated. Like you just learned more kind of tips and tools about what you would apply to a real life future in your job. Like I'm majoring in speech and language, or I hope to for my master's program to graduate, and I really was not sure about children. I really wanted to do the clinical, more adult practice, maybe like a nursing home, a rehab, a hospital, anything clinical experience, that side of things. But I honestly have to say I did this placement and I really enjoyed the kids. So if I were to ever go and I would be a speech SLP there, I think it really taught me how to interact with them as a adult and a kid, as like technically me working with them, or as me also building a relationship with them. So I think it was a really good level and more like experience. I like how much experience it gave me, even though it was through JMU. And yeah, I think maybe any new skills or interests, like what I said, like it just opened the door for me. I would have never imagined that I would want to work with kids. I really didn't think I would want to work with kids, but this is a real option for me. And I think that helps me later in life. If I don't get a job in the clinical world, then I can turn to the school, or it's very flexible. I feel like you can do whatever you want with it. And you still like it, you like your job, you're going to like what you're doing. So, yeah, I didn't experience anything that surprised me. I just had normal conversations with them. Most of the time, we did like what I would like to call recess. So we would go outside if it was warm enough, and they would kind of do their thing, play tag, and I would hang out with them and play tag with them. Some of them have Legos, or we'd play board games if we were inside. We would play computer games, which was cool because you could tell some of them would play like the computer games where it was like, ooh, fun, like let's make some ice cream, and then the other kids would do like math games because they were really interested in numbers. So you could kind of see like the different personalities and what they would choose to do in their free time. Mm, what critical incidents occurred? Nothing too much. Like I said, just them telling me about their home life. And actually, one time a kid did get left there. They were supposed to be picked up at 6 p.m. every day, and I would typically go from 4 to 6, so I would be there right after their school ended, right until they got picked up. And one kid never got picked up, so we actually did have to go to the office and contact one of his other family members, which was kind of, I think, sad in a way because I don't know if his family was just busy, I don't know if they forgot, but you could tell, the kid was a little disappointed all his friends left and it was just the adults left. So I really, it's upsetting, but that was only one time. He got picked up around 5:30, 6 every other time, so he was okay, but it was definitely in the moment, you felt bad for him. But yeah, I would definitely do this again. I really liked this experience. Had almost no negative, actually none. I had no negative experiences with it. It was everyone made me feel welcomed, and I really liked it even from day one. So, and I think leaving the service, I think leaving my placement definitely made me open my eyes more to what to expect with the younger population because they all were elementary schoolers. I definitely know now how to treat them, how to interact with them, how to be their friend, but also someone who needs to teach them, that's not right to hit someone, that's not right to yell at someone, you need to do this, it's polite to ask for things, say please and thank you. So being like a mentor, a volunteer, friend, all of it all in one. So I really liked that. So for knowledge or skills that I could apply in the future, I feel like I'm reiterating myself, but just for work, I really think this is really important. I'm doing an internship this summer with kids, and I was really nervous for it, but I think this placement really helped me. So over the summer, I'm going to feel right at home and fit right in with everyone when I go in. So that's really exciting, and I won't have to be as a nervous wreck for it. So I think that's good, and yeah, I think this is a very successful placement. I think that I know I was meant to go to this placement versus the Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind. I think the Boys and Girls Club really was meant to be my placement, and I really liked it, and it opened my eyes to a whole new perspective of the population. So I really liked it. So the contributors to this success would probably just be the class, for making me do it, but also the people in the organization that I had no idea I would meet, and they just really told me to go in with open mind and kind of just be myself, and kids would talk to me, and it works. So, but I think for others who maybe wouldn't have had as a successful opportunity or maybe didn't, I would think it's just because you didn't go in with that mindset of, oh, I'm just going to do whatever. I'm going to do whatever the kids want. I'm going to talk to them about whatever. Because if you go in there with, if you had a bad day or something, you walk in and you're negative, you just can't think of anything else, then that would really hinder your placement. And I think that would really the kids would feel that vibe off of you, and it wouldn't be as great. You wouldn't get the same experience out of it. So I personally, I know I wasn't happy all the days, but I would leave everything that happened at the door and, just take it one step at a time. So yeah, I really liked this. I learned a lot about myself. I learned to keep an open mind and that I really like kids. So yeah.